Good evening, my beloveds. What is up? Happy Sunday evening. It is I, Papa Rose, your favorite papatillo, not tapatillo, but just as spicy as the hot sauce, coming to you today from La Casa de Juju on Sunday. I hope you had a wonderful Sunday. I hope you had a restful Sunday. I hope you have enjoyed, because those that know and those that are in the know that we just came out of a Taurus new moon as we go forward on the first parts of the beginning of the moon opening up and bringing its light and allowing us to see what needs to be seen as we pass through this dark energy. And not dark in a bad way, but the dark that allows us to plumb the depths and see what needs healing, what needs fixing, what needs doing, and allowing us to shed light on this and bring it forward. And that's what new moons are about. And if y'all, before I go any further, if y'all are new to the channel and just showed up, hey, come on in. How you doing? Pull up a chair. Get you some tea. If you old hats, you know where the fridge is. Let's go. Let's hang out. Because tonight, my babies, and thank you for coming. Tonight, I want to restart because it's been a bit since I've done a Storytime Sunday with Papa. So I'm going to do one tonight. Before I do, I want to thank y'all and say thank you for being here. And please, if you're here, think about subscribing to the channel if you're into all things esoteric, mystic, story time, Afro-Caribbean spirituality, Lukumi, Santeria, Espiritismo, all this good stuff that we talk about, and just pretty much days in the life of a backwoods brujo in the wilds of the South, and how we do things. Tips and tricks and all that good stuff. And also, since this is the Casa de Juju, La Casa de Juju is also an online space where you can get yourself some lovely products like spiritual oils, spiritual bath crystals, fixed lotions, powders, things to help in your spiritual practices, as well as services like divinations, because I do divination, and mentorship, where we sit down and have classes with you and help you and mentor you to be involved in your spiritual practice, make it the best practice it can be, because we want your magic to be yours. We want to make sure that what's in your magic works, and what works for you stays there. And also just troubleshooting sessions as well, called Café con Papa, where you get to sit with me and we just talk, we shoot the breeze, get your stuff together and see what we can do for you and get forward in life. So all these things are available. You can catch me on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and through Gmail. Send me some emails. Pardon me. Must have been something all right. Catch me in there. Send me an email. Get in the comments section below and let's start a discussion, because tonight, again, if you're new, tonight we like to do story time. And usually I like to share stories of the Orishas, stories of spirits, stories and folklores that I grew up with, being a kid from the Bronx and living in a very witchy-ass family. So tonight, because this week has been about leading up to something, starting new things, because on the new moon we start new things. Oh, I did say hit the like button and ring the bell and to stay abreast of new videos that come up, and subscribe and all that good stuff. Pretty please, with sugar on top, and hang out with me a bit. In new moons, when we look at new moons, I was talking to somebody and we talked about new moons and full moons. With the new moon, we go in and we've gone through this dark time of the moon, where the moon is taking things and showing things and taking things away from us that we don't need. At the pinnacle of this new moon is that dark moon where there is no light, no illumination, and we go on faith, we go on ourselves, we go on our intuition, and we have that little mini dark night of the soul where we look and see, what do we need to release ourselves from, unchain ourselves from? And what do we need to remember to keep doing? What do we need to take with us as we go along into the next part of the journey? And this one in Taurus was no different, especially now since it's about Taurus. Taurus season is about that relaxation, our home, our body. It is earth, it is body, it is thing. And it's not, this one was a manifesting one. Yes, it's true. We can put our things out and bury things, but it's also one that challenged us to say, what is your security? What are your foundations? What are the things that you need to keep doing so that you can achieve the success that you need? And what are the things that you need to just put on the side? Because sometimes, like a very wise person said, the bus leaves at 8:45 and some people are not going to be on the bus. Some people are. So we do what we can. And it's okay. Some things are not for us. Some things and some people, we're only here for a certain amount of time. So we go on and branch on to new things. No tea, no shade, no foul, all the good. And we keep on focused on ourselves and moving forward. Or if they are there, we remember who they are and re-strengthen those bonds and remember what happens. And speaking of rememberies, let me tell you a tale, since you're here for a story. Let me tell you a story about how one time things got a little rough and people forgot their obligations. People forgot what was going on and people thought they could get one over on the Lord of the Crossroads. And, well, let's hear the story then. So y'all come up. And like my grandfathers and my ancestors would say, a lot of people started stories saying once upon a time. My people would say, let's abide with the ancestors and the ancients tonight. Let me weave you a tale. Long ago, things were hard. Things got a little tight. And people needed to find new and exciting ways to try and make money and do businesses and do their things. Sounds familiar? So, the great Orishas Yemaya, Oshun, and Oya all were also experienced diviners. They could divine. They read the shells. And they were renowned on their own. But things were getting a little, so they got the idea. And they called and said, you know what? We should all pool our resources, pool things together, and make a powerhouse of divination so that everybody comes in, everybody gets a slice, and everybody goes forward. Now, Yemaya said, brilliant. Oya said, yes. And Oshun signed off and said, let's do it. The more the merrier. And all of us on our own pull. But all of us together, we can really pull. And they said, but we need somebody to go out there and dance and go, populate and promulgate and do all the promotions, do all the advertisement, right? So they said, who better? They said, Elegua, come on, son, and let's all do this. So they all got together and said, here we go. And they built up the idea. They got together, they sat, and they built up their stronghold. And so Elegua would go. And he would call people and do the advertisements, walk up and down, and he was also the guardian of the door, as is his place. So he would let people in, do all the appointments and everything. Meanwhile, Yemaya and Ochun and Oya, they were throwing them shells and honey. After a while, word got out because Elegua wastes no time in getting that news out. Boo-boo. Everything gets spoke, and the tea gets spilled. So he lived up to himself, and at the end of every night, they would divvy up everything equally. It was a good idea. Everybody got theirs, Elegua got his. Elegua got his. Elegua got his. Well, once things started getting really good and they needed to be booked in advance, oh my God, you had to wait to get a turn now. Because beforehand it was, but now, the fame spread far and wide and people were in line. And Elegua had to do extra work to make sure everything was together. But it was all good because everything kept flowing smoothly. And everybody got theirs until one day the ladies decided, you know what? We making enough money, but do we really need to give Elegua that much? Because all he really does is just go out there and talk. All he's doing out there is really just walking up and down and do we need to give him that much money? And they all thought about it and they said, you know what? It doesn't seem like it's very fair. We're the ones doing the work. We busting our ass, throwing shells and doing the ebos, the prescribed rituals and cleansings. We're doing all these things. We're doing the prayers and stuff. We're dealing with the clients. And all he's really doing is just taking care of the calendar and talking. He's kind of entertainment. Maybe we should bust down some of his money because he isn't really doing too much. So they all started talking about it, but they forgot one thing. Elegua's everywhere that the tea is spilled. And Elegua overheard this and he said, is that right? Okay. He didn't say nothing though. He kept his mouth shut and walked over and was like, hey, what y'all doing? And they all said, hey, we're doing good. Just chilling, talking. I'm like, okay. Anything good? Anything you got to say? Anything you want to talk about? No, we good. We good. So the next day, they gave Elegua just a little bit less. And Elegua clocked it and said, all right. The second time they did that, they gave him a little bit less than less. Elegua nodded his head and said, all right, we'll give you a slide. On the third time, Elegua said, all right, bet. Tomorrow, we will see. And the next day, Yemaya, Oya, and Oshun were just waiting and waiting and waiting. And they noticed that nobody was coming. And it's just a slow day. You know, sometimes the economy. First day, they noticed Elegua wasn't around. Of course, there ain't nothing to get, so of course he's not here. It shows us what we know. See, I told you. Second day came around, and there was nobody. Honey, not even the birds was singing in the backyard. All right. Well, people got things to do, and it has been a little bit rough. There's been some things going on, blah, 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 what have you. And they all kind of explained it away. On the third day, they started getting a little suspicious. While this was going on, Elegua had left, and he wasn't back because he was at the crossroad that led to their house. Because there was only one road in, one road out. Elegua was at that crossroad, and when people would come by and saying, "Oh, yeah, Elegua, you're here now. Look, I got an appointment to see and get my shells read." And Elegua said, "Really? That's something else." Well, they ain't here, boo-boo. They moved. Yeah, man, I took up paratrooping. What? They're not divining? Nope. They somewhere else, boo. The next person that came said, I came to divine with Oshun. Oshun went back to the river, sugar. She's selling honey right now. You need to probably take care of that and probably see her there, but nah, not here. That's why I'm at this crossroad, figuring out what I'm going to do next. And successfully. Where's Oya? Oya went hang gliding. Oshun, she went jet skiing. Who knows what happened? Yes, I know, but come with me on this one. He made up so many different things that after a while, nobody showed up and everybody kind of forgot and went to other places. After a week, Yemaya said, no, this got to stop, and threw the shells. And in the divination, it told them that they'd forgotten something very, very important. They'd forgotten what their word was, and their word is bond. That they can't go back on something they said, especially when they said it when it was good. And when things get better, you get better. You don't get worse. And they all looked, listened, and they bowed their head and said, yeah, we was bad. That was messed up what we did. And I know exactly what we did. And all of them understood and nodded. And they said, let's go. And they said the opening, the shell pattern said, go and take an offering to the crossroads. And they took an offering of every sweet, good thing that they had. And they went to the crossroads. And who should be there? But Elegua sitting right there, minding his business. And they said, ay, Elegua, yo, look. We really did you wrong. And Elegua said, yep. We're really sorry. Uh-huh, I know you are. We brought these offerings to you. We brought some of the money, and we want to have you back because we understand that, yo, you do more than just. It's your energy. It's your liveliness. It's your ability to bring and shift energies. We're really sorry. We got up in ourselves. And Elegua said, precisely. I'm glad you said that. I like these offerings. Everything's good. This is nice. Thank you. So, what are your plans? What do you want to do? And they all said, look, we're very sorry. We want to have this understanding of money coming in. We want to have it all together. And Elegua said, yeah, good, because that's exactly what I've been doing, is turning it completely upside down. Elegua's the spirit of reversal, y'all. The Orisha can turn good luck to bad luck and bad luck to good luck. Think about that. And he sees what other people don't. He hears what other people don't. He understands what other people don't. That's why he understood that they just had a momentary lapse. And they were repentant. They were contrite. They were really sorry. And Elegua doesn't hold a grudge, though. He does not. He said, okay, I accept your apology and your offerings, and we will make this and build this back up again. And they all said, yes, thank you. And Oya said, you know what, though? I'm going to add a card to this. At the end of the day, before we take ours, we'll make sure you get yours. You'll get yours first all the time. So that way we know that you got everything together, and we'll keep getting ours. And then Elegua said, as long as I get mine, y'all will get yours, and we'll all be happy again. And don't you know, the next day, Elegua left and brought a line of people. And one by one they came in, and the money flowed, the happiness stayed, and everything got better and better and better. And they were even better than they were before. And every time, Elegua got his first. And everyone was happy. And they grew in popularity as well as in accuracy and understanding. And they understood that your word is your bond. and that once said, you can't take back what you say. And you got to stand on what your principles are. Like the kids say now, you got to stand 10 toes on it. At least that's how I was told. Have you heard this story before? And how did you hear it? Get in the comment section with me below and let's talk about it. And let's see what you say and how you feel. In this story, Elegua is the great opener and communicator. He's the one that is the fanfare. He is the head of the three-ring circus. He can do these things. These titanic orishas, Yemaya, Oshun, and Oya, these feminine divinities of power and grace and love and the ocean and the winds in battle, they were not only powerful in their elemental forms, but they were also amazing diviners and amazing practitioners of the healing arts. So they understood that words mean things. Elegua is the master of the spoken, written, and understood word. He's also the showman. He's the one that brings and takes. He can open any road and close it. So they understood that they had maybe offended somebody that they shouldn't have. But they were also smart enough to understand, let's fix this quick. Let's fix what works and forget what doesn't. And as such, this is what the story teaches. And also, it teaches us that people that do good to you, people that are good by you and always stay, are to be treated with the utmost love and respect that they treat you with. Treat others as you would have others treat you, right? That's the golden rule anyway. But these stories, that's what I grew up on, and they always taught me these things. So, since tomorrow is Monday, and I always like to talk about my dad, let us have a moment when you go talk to Elegua, if you have Elegua, or if you're Aborisha and have received guerreros, or even if you talk to Elegua in a spiritual form, going in front of a santo or in front of your coco, take that moment and say thank you, as well as giving love and asking. Take a moment and think, how can I use those smarts in my words for my betterment and for my family's betterment? I hope you enjoyed this story, and if you got into this video so far, please, again, leave a like, leave some comments, hit the bell, subscribe, all that good stuff, and thank you. Put in the comments below the word, let's see, what's a good word that I could pull out from all of this? Put Crossroads down in the comment section so that I know you got this far and that you're enjoying it. And with that, I wish you all, I bid you, as usual, peace, love, and good juju. May this week be filled with happiness, joy, prosperity, abundance, and good fortune, and good communication. And may all of those good debts be balanced out. And may all of the bad ones be rectified. Let's go forward now. As the new moon allows us to begin to see the light in the sky through the darkness, let's go towards the light and walk forward, letting it guide us to our fortune and our happiness. And with that, y'all be kind to each other, be sweet, be kind to yourself, be sweet to you, take some time for you. And if you have any questions, float me a note, because that's all she wrote. Y'all have a wonderful one. Stay safe. Mucho ache. Later on.